Welcome everybody, Kelly from KB Auto Tech Adventure. Today we're in my shop and I got a new modification for my Tacoma. I'm super excited. I'm here with Kevin from Tactical Roof Rack Solutions and we are going to put on a custom roof rack on my Tacoma. So if that interests you in any way, shape or form, please stay tuned, watch this video. Well, let's get into this. The very first thing we need to do is remove this roof molding to access the holes. If you need a little plastic wedge to get underneath here, you can just sort of pry it. As you can see, Kevin here just lifted it up with his fingers and he's just slowly working it along from front to back and just removing it. It is held down with a little bit of tape, so some spots you need to pull. At the rear, it does have a little bit of a clip, but go ahead and just slide it on out and it will come and expose the holes that we need to access. Depending on your location and the age of your truck, this channel may or may not be completely filled with some junk. So you're going to want to make sure that it's reasonably clean, but we can get to a little bit more cleaning after if we need to. The holes will be sealed from factory. There'll be a tape over it and basically paint from the factory. Sometimes they're a little bit sticky, but just go ahead and pull it up. You'll find that there's 2 bolts in the front, 1 in the middle, and 2 in the rear. Now we're going to mark the holes with some tape on the roof. That way we're able to transfer those marks onto the molding, as we're going to need to cut that to access those holes. Use a straight edge of some type to mark the positions of the bolts. Also, this gives you a chance to test fit the bolts to make sure they go in the holes smoothly and there's no burrs or anything that's going to surprise you later on. Now that we know the positions of the bolt holes, we can go ahead and lay the molding in and transfer those marks over onto the molding. Then we can go ahead and cut it. Kevin has this really cool hole punch here that he uses for making holes in the moldings. I didn't actually ask him where he got it from, but you can see the brand here and it does look like it is a 21mm hole. Now we can actually go ahead and hole punch it. One thing to note, inside this molding is a thin layer of metal. The outside is of basically a vinyl rubber, but inside is metal, so you do need to be very firm when you're making these holes. Like I was saying earlier, we want this channel to be very clean and dry. That is because we're going to need to apply sealant to hold the molding down, but also to seal those bolt holes. If not, they will leak into the roof liner. Now we're free to go ahead and reinstall this molding. So make sure you line it up correctly and push it and clip it in all along. Make sure also that you push it down evenly and there's no humps or bumps along in there. Now that the molding is in, we'll go ahead and install the spacers. Just push them firmly into the holes that we punched into the molding and make sure that they line up good. Now we can start assembling the rack. Grab your end rail and bolts. Thread them in smoothly by hand and make sure that they're completely free. Once you've done that, then you can go ahead and snug them down lightly at this point. If you're going to be driving the vehicle after installation, now would be a good time to go ahead and tape down your molding. That way no air is getting down there and lifting the molding before the sealant has completely sealed. If you're parking it in the garage for the next 24 hours, this next step isn't necessary. It will have sealed up by that time. Well, that completes one side. From here, you'll go ahead and need to do all these steps obviously on the complete other side before we can go ahead and start installing the crossbars. Now that both end rails are installed, we can go ahead and finally install all the cross pieces. Here we're going to start with the front fairing first. Although you can do it by yourself, it is handy to have an extra set of hands with you. After the front fairing is installed, we went ahead and did a center brace and a rear brace. That way we can go ahead and tighten the rack down. But just before you do that, make sure it is centered left to right. Kevin says there's not a ton of wiggle room, so it's fairly close already. So go ahead and tighten down all your mounting bolts. After the rack is completely mounted down to the roof and tight, you can go ahead and install the rest of the crossbars. I left a little bit of extra room for my sunroof because I really enjoy it. But the nice thing is, you can move these around to any location that you wish. One of the really cool things about this is Kevin says he is able to do custom logos if you wish. So this is his tactical roof rack logo and a Canadian flag, obviously, because we are Canadian. But for you Americans, you can put an American flag on there. Also, if you have some type of business or something and you want it on that fairing, he says he can do that. So email him and reach out and see what you can come up with. The install was really not all that hard. The only thing that you may struggle with is finding yourself some type of hole punch to cut that molding unless you have some other type of solution. I'm very happy with the product. I can't say enough about how well it went together and just how nice it looks. Of course, everyone will want to compare to Prinsu, obviously because they're the big name out there. I think it is easily on par, if not better. I have a Prinsu rack on my 4Runner, so I can say that say that with a little bit of experience, and I'm super happy with this rack.
Well, we're done the install. I'm super excited. I think it looks great. I mean, the quality looks super top notch. Put a lot of time into the design, making sure everything's perfect. The fit is really good. So if you have a moment, please check out his website. Also reach out to them on Instagram, and also check them out on Marketplace. So Tactical Roof Rack Solutions, all the regular social media places. So have a look, and hey, get yourself a rack as well. Thanks so much, Kevin.
Thanks, Kelly.
Appreciate it very much. And please consider giving the video a thumbs up, maybe like, subscribe, the same old deal. See what we're up to next. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.